Society raises you to do what's right. The Heavenly Father informs you to do what's best. That's a big difference. Doing what's right, especially if doing right is according to the standards of society, will get you in trouble. It can even get you killed. But doing what's best, based on objective observation, that will always have long-term benefits. Now, I need to remind you that not everyone out there wants solutions. They really don't. They will not say to your face that they just want victims to explode on, to feel better. They won't tell you that they just want to escape. They won't tell you this openly, because it's quite uncomfortable and extremely embarrassing for them to admit it. So they won't admit it, so they will fake it. They will fake as if they want solutions, but they will come up with excuses to sabotage the process of solutions. So even when a solution is working out, they will sabotage it because they really don't want solutions. They just want to escape all the time. Then there are people who go so far that they begin to cling onto what we call fairy tales. Now, what is a fairy tale? A fairy tale, when it comes to daily life, refers to a state of mind in which someone wants to be left alone at all costs. Or let me say it differently. People want to escape reality so much that they develop this, you can say, virtual reality in their minds in which they are never wrong and in which they are entitled to escape whatever goes on in the real world. Now, such fairy tales can be shared, in which people have similar projections to hold on to. Now, a fairy tale doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a pleasant one. It can also be a negative one. You have people out there who are paranoid, they're cynical, and expect everyone to be out there to get them. They expect that everyone is selfish and everyone is mean and out for themselves. Now, this worldview is not true. It's unrealistic and it doesn't add up with objective observation. They literally believe that every human being is a reptilian monster out there to devour their fellow human beings. So they ignore all the signs of affection or altruism, all the other moments where when even bad people do something good and you just forget about it, they forget about all that evidence and all that proof. Why? Because in their mind, they are the victim because they're in a dog-eat-dog world. And that's the fairy tale they hold on to. Now, why would they hold on to this fairy tale? Simple. If they are the victim all the time, it means that they're entitled to do whatever is necessary to survive. That means they cannot be held responsible nor accountable for what they do. So they want to avoid facing themselves. That is what goes on. So when you encounter people who always see everything in a negative daylight, or if there is no negativity, they will make up some negativity, that's the fairy tale they cling on to. Then there are people who don't want to face any discomfort. So when they know the signs that something is wrong in their community, they will just add it out of their mind. Now, such fairy tales are easily recognized. There is this term called toxic positivity. I already debunked it because toxicity and positivity don't go together. It's an oxymoron. But what they mean with it is that there are people who only want to look at the good side of things, and the bad side, they just want to forget about it, pretend it doesn't exist. Such fairy tales are quite dysfunctional. But so are the fairy tales in which people see everything as dark and evil. Now, whether a fairy tale is a horror story, or whether the fairy tale is this moonshine and scents of roses, whatever the fairy tale is, it comes down to one thing. People don't want to deal with the challenges of life. They don't. They don't want to deal with anything. They just want to escape all the time. And they go so far that they will team up with people who have similar fairy tales as they have. So, someone that's delusional can still be factual. For example, someone that's delusional can still drive a car and pay attention to the road. They can still count money when they're at the grocery store. Just because they're delusional doesn't mean that every rational faculty of their mind is shut down. What makes them delusional is their flat-out refusal to deal with daily life in a proper and constructive way. Now look, if someone was totally out of their mind, they couldn't even count anymore. They couldn't even tell the difference between blue and red or whatever. Such individuals falling apart, and they'll be brought to, they'll be given mental help in a special institution or whatever to help them out. If every delusional individual was like that, it would be quite easy to recognize them. Unfortunately, that's not reality. Most people out there who are delusional, they can function on a rational manner in daily life. When it comes to participating in traffic, when it comes to counting their money when they're making purchases, they are rational when it comes to going to sleep on time and all of that. So, yes, they have rational faculties at work. But then, the longer you talk with them, the more involved with them you are, you begin to notice inconsistencies about them that you didn't notice before. And then you encounter one thing about them. They're complaining about something. Because everyone that's delusional is complaining about something. And that complaint of theirs shows what it is they're running away from. For example, someone who only sees moonshine, scents of roses, and happy rainbows, such an individual will always complain about people who are quote-unquote conspiracy theorists or people who always look behind stuff. What they're saying is just shut up and believe what mainstream media tells you. Shut up and just believe what society tells you to believe. So when they keep complaining about people who ask questions, now you know what's up. But then you also have people with this horror-like fairy tale, and they complain saying, why are these people so positive? Why do people treat me so positive? I never asked for it. Why are these people so happy? How could you be happy with this? So they're so focused on why people shouldn't be happy. Why? Because they're the ones that are miserable and they don't want to face themselves. So the thing with delusional people is, the more involved with them you are, you begin to notice their inconsistencies. And you begin to notice this core thing to keep complaining about. Now, the moment you find out their core complaint, now you also know what they're delusional about. Now, someone that's delusional is dangerous. Even though their rational faculties are at work still, they will even abuse their rational faculties to escape. As simple as that. When people cling onto fairy tales, let them. It may sound stupid what I'm telling you now, but it is not. Bear with me. When people cling onto fairy tales, let them. Do not even attempt to change your mind. Do not even attempt to inform them. Do not even attempt to confront them with facts and with objective proof. Don't do it. Those people are not into reality. Now, reality is where they are, like all of us, but they have no intention of dealing with reality on a realistic basis. They just want to escape, whether it's them escaping into some hellhole of despair, or it's them escaping into some magical wonderland that doesn't exist. Doesn't matter. They just want to escape. And they are so invested in escaping that anyone who challenges their escape triggers them. And once they're triggered, they lose it. And once they lose it, you'll need a whole SWAT team to keep them down. So, when people cling onto fairy tales, let them. Don't confront them. Don't call them out on it. And especially, do not express how you feel about them clinging onto fairy tales. Don't. Let them. What you do is, you peacefully excuse yourself from their presence. You lower contact and lower your involvement with them in a peaceful way, and you keep on moving. Don't cut them off just like that. That's narcissistic. Unless they became a physical threat to you, and they already threatened you, or whatever, that's different. What you should do is just move away from them. Do not even attempt. The reason I'm repeating this, because it's quite important, do not even attempt to convince them of better. They don't want any better. They have chosen the dark side. So, they've made up their mind to be a danger to both themselves and others. And they have no right to be a danger towards themselves. And they don't have a right to be a danger towards anyone else. So they are in violation over here. But they feel entitled to violate both themselves and other people. What are you going to achieve confronting someone who feels entitled to not only harm themselves, but also others to escape? Well, that's not going to turn out well, does it? Let them in the fairy tales. You keep on moving. Was it for now? Keep on agreeing with Christ and be at peace.